Hello, welcome back. And sorry for the delay. I know it's been a few weeks since I spoke last, and sorry for that. I just personal vacation and some business work has kept me away from home, but I have been watching more Radiance films, and I'm excited to keep talking about them. So today we are going to talk about Miami Blues, and this is where it fits in the release order. So if you look at Working Class Goes to Heaven, then Big Time Gambling Boss, both those videos are already up. Now we're gonna do Miami Blues. This was the number third release, and in a few days I'll have a Woman Kills up as well. Very stoked to revisit Welcome to the Dollhouse and talk about my low key love for Salance movies, and then see this for the first time. But I'm excited about Filler Up with Super as well. Spy number. This is number 5. Now, before I get into Miami Blues, I want to talk a little bit about. I'm going to try to be more systematic in these videos, and so I want to talk about the structure that I'm going to follow, and if there's any comments about something else you'd like to see, or something else that I'm not covering. I probably won't cover the audio and the video quality. I know this sounds terrible, but I don't care a ton. I know it's like the whole point of Blu-ray and 4K upgrades, and I'm very happy that these are getting beautiful restorations. But the way that I watch is typically I do watch on TV. It's not like I'm watching on my phone. It's a nice TV in the living room, but the audio is usually down to where I can just kind of pick up the background music because I have a kid that's sleeping in the other room, and I watch everything with subtitles. So I don't, as long as I can generally hear what's going on, and there's not these big spikes in audio that happen sometimes between. It's the biggest offender I think is the Criterion channel, where the music or the audio will be just wild oscillations in volume. But I'm sure it's not the channel's fault. I'm sure it's the copies of the print they're getting or whatever. Anyways, I probably won't be spending a lot of time on audio and video. It's not something I know about, and don't really want to have a big opinion on that. If you have any questions, I can bring in Zach or Adam from the podcast. They can answer. They care a lot more about that. What I'll do is I'll be talking about the release numbers, the spine number, the packaging, the special features, just kind of an intro to the release itself. I like to think about it from the perspective of not would I recommend this movie because everybody's taste is so subjective, but more to think about the other movies from this director, kind of similar films. I'd love to paint the context of what the movie is, how I perceived it, just so that you have an idea if it's right for you or not, and then just end with just kind of what's coming up next. Yeah, so that's the format I'm going to follow. Let me know if there's something you like or don't like about that, and we can adjust on the fly. All right. So, getting into the release. And by the way, I have to say, Fran does a good job of doing like an unboxing video. So if you don't follow him on Instagram or Twitter or I don't know, maybe TikTok, I'm not on. But follow him, maybe YouTube as well. Follow him because he'll do unboxing videos. So I'm not going to go through in great detail. I can see if I can add links. Maybe I can try to find his unboxing video for this. But I did want to just kind of show it off since we're talking together. So, like always, I feel like I have to start with one of my favorite things he's been able to do. So you have this little insert that you can take out. He always lists the special features on one side and upcoming releases and interesting content on the other. This is the art. So I don't know how I feel about this one, to be completely honest. Beautiful artwork. And I'm trying to figure out if it captures the film or not. I think it does. Better than this. I'll show you. I think it certainly captures it better than this. This is a pretty standard, So this is for sure an upgrade over the theatrical release poster. But and the artwork was done by, I have it up because I want to make sure we shout out. The artwork is done by Time Tomorrow is the name of the group or person who does the artwork. I haven't had a chance to speak with them yet, but generally speaking, it is well made. I like it. I can't figure out if it really suits the film or not. but I do love the color scheme. I think they nailed the colors. The blue and the pink certainly feel right. Um, this is, let's see here, the special features. Let me do that now. So the special features, they have a new high def transfer, uncompressed stereo. Now, they do a great job of setting the context for this movie. They talk to both Alec Baldwin and Jennifer Jason Leigh. It's an 8-year-old interview. Well, I should say, I don't know when you're watching this video, but it's a 2015 interview. They do a new interview with David Jenkins, and the role that Jonathan Demme played in helping get this film off the ground. Great featurette. They actually find somebody who's a pulp crime expert named Maxim Jakubowski, and they talk about the lead character in the movie as well as in the novels that this movie is based off of, and just give some more context around the character that was created. And there's some behind the scenes image gallery, there's trailers, there's subtitles, which is important for me as you just found out in how I watch. There's reversible sleeve, which we just looked at. There's a this limited edition 44-page booklet with reviews by Glenn Kenny, George Armitage. Oh, sorry. An interview with George Armitage and Nick Pinkerton, which is captured in here, which is great. Critic Layla Latif, who talks about Alec Baldwin, and then an old feature with Fred Ward, which is really cool to get a little bit more information on him. This is a 3,000 copy limited edition that I believe is sold out. Fran does always, he's confirmed just in general that there's always standard editions coming out on the back end of this. So that's the release packaging. I think, as always, it's just a very, very high standard that Fran has set. I love his releases. Yeah. Anyways, they're beautiful. There's a reason why he's out of the box running so fast. Now, this George Armitage is the director of Grosse Pointe Blank, if y'all have seen that. So I like George Armitage a lot. I'd say he has a very quirky, kind of dark sense of humor. And I'll get into more of this in just a second, but if you look at John Cusack versus Alec Baldwin for this type of humor, I think Alec Baldwin nails it in this movie. I love it. I was trying to think of how to talk about similar movies that kind of have the vibe of Miami Blues. More slapsticky and more screwball-y comedy almost. You could go in the direction of like a Raising Arizona, which was right around the similar time frame. It came out. You could certainly look at crime movies as well, and say that this fits comfortably within the crime genre. But I think this is a little bit of a unique movie in that I think it's rare to get a character like Alec Baldwin's character in this. I think that this, there's something that George Armitage captured here from the novels that is very unique, very striking, and I think made me really love this movie, to be honest. So just quickly on the characters. Okay, so this is... Gonna set that up so that doesn't fall. All right. So you have... really, this movie revolves around 3 characters. You come to find out that Junior, Alec Baldwin plays a guy named Junior. You come to find out his name is Frederick J. Frenger Jr. And then the other main character is Jennifer Jason Leigh. And she plays a character that you come to find out is Susie Wagner. And then Fred Ward is Sergeant. He's like a detective who's kind of on the case. All right. And just to give you a sense of the dark humor of this, so you have the movie starts out, and very quickly after it starts, you see Alec Baldwin walking through an airport and as Junior, and he does some business and he steals a suitcase from a mother that has her back turned, and he steals it from the kid, this like 10-year-old kid. Walking through the airport, there's a Hare Krishna who's sort of evangelizing or proselytizing to Junior. He sticks his finger out at him. Junior breaks his finger in such a way that the Hare Krishna guy collapses and dies. And it's not done with a sense of sadness. It's just done in a very frenetic, matter of fact, like he just killed a dude kind of way. Then he goes on and goes into kind of the story where he's trying to set up a new life, and he immediately goes to meet Jason Jennifer Lee, who's working for like a kind of an escort service at the hotel he's staying at. So there's a whole thread there. Then Fred Ward comes in as Detective Hoke, and he is put on the case of this Hare Krishna, and they don't really have that much information about the killer. Even the I guess the people that are that see it happen, the witnesses that see it, they don't have much to go on. They say he's got like a particular kind of jacket and pants. He kind of looks a little bit like this, but it doesn't seem like it was premeditated. He just walked up and killed the dude. And they even make some jokes at the Hare Krishna's expense about dying from a broken finger. So that kind of sets the tone of the movie. Like Alec Baldwin, he plays somebody that can kill without thinking or without hesitating. And also, I think it kind of sets the stage for the fact that there's going to be a lot of dark comedy in this. And there's a very comfortable discussion around violence and death from the sense that it's treated more as humor as opposed to just straight, crazy violence and things. Or shock value, I guess. So, as Alec Baldwin goes throughout the movie and sort of his life starts to intertwine with Jennifer Jason Leigh more, we see him at this very complex character, right? So he's a guy that is both, I think, sincerely trying to start a new life. I believed him, and I believed that he was trying to love Jennifer Jason Leigh. Like, these things are true, but he is also a killer and sort of a sociopath, or maybe not sort of. Like, he's fully a sociopathic killer, and can lie and steal and cheat without hesitation. And so this creates some natural conflict, and I think they beautifully created the character of Jennifer Jason Leigh to be very innocent. And Detective Hoke, who's on this case, through a series of circumstances, finds Junior, and he comes to have a very unique relationship. Honestly, Hoke is probably one of the more interesting detectives I've seen in a movie since maybe Boondock Saints. Not saying this is like Boondock Saints, but Willem Dafoe's character in that movie was just a very unique detective that was very memorable. And I think Fred Ward gives a similar type performance. Not that he has the headphones on and he's like singing opera, not that, but just in the way that he engages with the characters, and he engages especially with Junior, he knows what's going on, and he kind of knows exactly how to play Junior. I think his character is actually brilliantly written, and it's a nice, the trifecta really works well in the movie, because you have this frenetic energy where Junior's essentially on edge the whole film, and very high strung, but there's some kind of weird, sincere attempt to start a new life. And you have this sweet-natured, small-town girl from Jennifer Jason Leigh, who happened to be an escort, has a little bit of a wild side for sure, but is essentially just trying to get married and like find a guy and settle down and have kids and that whole thing. And so Junior has to lie to her to keep the relationship going so he can settle down. And he's having some conflicted feelings with her, even though I think he genuinely loves her. So that's a fun dynamic. And then you have Fred Ward, who's he comes off very unprofessional, almost like Marlowe, maybe the character of Marlowe in The Long Goodbye, the Altman movie. I hope I got the title right, but I think it's The Long Goodbye, where it's Elliot Gould playing the lead detective. Maybe a similar energy there, where I think Adam's used on our channel before the term stoner noir. It has that similar type of vibe. but he's also very smart, and he plays Junior perfectly, and he kind of like strikes at just the right time. So that trifecta for me worked extremely well. Um, and I think this movie is very funny. And so, if I were to say like who would like this movie, kind of who would I recommend this movie to? I think you'll know hopefully by now if this is something that's up your alley. Very comfortable with death and violence and blood, and just sneaky, like excellent writing on the way that these characters have nuance and the arcs that they go through. It's something that's very unique, and I think for me was just looking at the three films. Yeah, for sure was my favorite release from Radiance so far. We'll see if that changes, because I think I would rate Welcome to the Dollhouse higher from memory, but we'll see how it stands up 20 years later or whatever since the last time I saw it. But yeah, for me, I really love this movie, and the context around this film that Radiance put on the disc was fantastic. It really helped. I loved it. So for me, it's all around a win, and we are going to be talking about this movie next. So come prepared here in the next few days. If you get a chance to see it, I would really love to have a discussion with people that have seen A Woman Kills. I don't want to give away too much, but it was not what I was expecting in a very good way. Thank you. That's all I have for today. So chat with y'all later, and yeah, I hope I'll see you all soon.